Good day, I'm Twyla Whelan and this is your JS News for Thursday, October 16, 2025. Thousands more Jamaicans may become eligible to have their criminal records expunged once Parliament approves legislation now being debated in the House of Representatives. Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs Delroy Chuck opened the debate on the Criminal Records Rehabilitation of Offenders Amendment Bill on Tuesday. It seeks to amend the current legislation which provides a two-stage framework for expunging criminal records, but which the minister says does not go far enough to provide persons with a second chance to get their lives back on track.
There are over 400,000 criminal records of persons who are at the Criminal Records Office, and many of them do seek expungement. This is an opportunity to give such persons a second chance.
A major change involves expanding the types of offences that can be expunged to now include certain drug convictions and minor property offences. It also introduces automatic expungement, meaning no application is required for certain old, non-custodial convictions where alternatives to imprisonment applied.
Specifically, offences with non-custodial sentences imposed and satisfied before January 1st, 2005, where the individual has not been convicted of another offence. This provision recognizes that persons with minor dated convictions should not have to bear that burden for life, as well as have to undergo the expungement process to clear their name.
The Criminal Records Rehabilitation of Offenders Board currently cannot consider applications where the sentence is for a term of imprisonment that exceeds 5 years, even if the offence is expungible. The sentence threshold for consideration is being increased from 5 years to 10. The board will also now be allowed to consider and evaluate some foreign convictions that were already expunged overseas, even where these offences may otherwise be barred from expungement in Jamaica. To ensure that a reasonable period of law-abiding conduct is demonstrated before eligibility arises for expungement, a new rehabilitation period of 15 years is being introduced for applicants who served terms exceeding 5 but less than 10 years. The rehabilitation period is 8 years for juvenile offenders. And to better guide the board in making its decisions on expungement applications, the law is being amended to set out a non-exhaustive list of factors to consider.
These include the nature and gravity of the offence, social inquiry and psychological reports, demonstrated remorse or restitution, and age at the time of the offence. The framework there ensures that the board's decisions are grounded in transparency, fairness, and evidence of rehabilitation.
Membership on the Criminal Records Rehabilitation of Offenders Board is also being expanded to now accommodate between 7 and 9 members. The list of prescribed members will be updated to include nominees from the Commissioner of Police and Commissioner of Corrections. The Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining is charting a new course for Jamaica's mining sector, focused on the development of the metallic minerals industry, reopening of the Alpart alumina refinery, and enhanced oversight of quarry operations. Minister Floyd Green says government's efforts will be targeted at unlocking the full potential of Jamaica's mineral resources, while ensuring that the industry operates sustainably and delivers tangible benefits to local communities.
We're entering a new phase for mining in Jamaica, one that goes beyond traditional bauxite. So one of our focuses is going to be on metallic minerals such as copper, rare earth elements, and gold, to see how we can diversify the sector, to attract new investments, and to reposition Jamaica as a key player in the global minerals value chain.
At the same time, he says the Alpart alumina refinery remains a national priority and discussions are ongoing with stakeholders to facilitate its phased reopening. As part of the ministry's renewed thrust to strengthen regulation and accountability, Minister of State Franklin Whitter's portfolio has been expanded to provide direct oversight of the island's quarries.
The quarry industry plays a critical role in supporting construction, road development, and housing. Our aim is to ensure that operations are well managed, compliant, and beneficial to both investors and communities.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness has intensified its vector control activities amidst a rise in the population of mosquitoes and heightened risk of vector-borne diseases. The ministry's ongoing enhanced vector control program currently has 492 permanent vector control workers in communities actively engaged in fogging and other activities targeted at destroying mosquito breeding sites. Minister Christopher Tufton says more vector workers will be added to the pool, facilitating an increase in the frequency of activities.
I have given instructions in terms of the increased population for the regional technical directors to meet with the parish managers and vector teams to allow for additional overtime hours where necessary to engage, and that's important because we now have to do later in the night, sometimes early in the mornings, to also engage additional temporary workers where parishes require additional temporary workers.
Dr. Tufton was speaking in the House of Representatives on Tuesday. He reveals that fogging will also be conducted at schools on the weekends in collaboration with the Ministry of Education. In addition, there are plans to bring on stream a cleanup program targeting bulky waste and other things that contribute to mosquito breeding. This is expected towards the end of October into November. In the meantime, the health minister is assuring the public that based on current epidemiological surveillance data, there is no increase in the reported cases of dengue fever.
We are actually below the normal threshold as it relates to dengue reporting. So we are actually doing better in a sense than how we would normally fare this time of year. As of the 13th of October 2025, the number of dengue cases has been below the normal epidemic threshold since September 2024.
Historically, the dengue season is between September of one year to January of the following year, peaking in October. Dr. Tufton stresses that while Jamaica is currently experiencing a notable increase in mosquito populations brought on by the recent rainfall, it's the nuisance and not disease-carrying species that are mainly affecting people at this time.
The Aedes aegypti species, the vector that carries the dengue virus, when there is currently no significant rise in this population, and there is no significant rise based on the surveillance, and we do expect an increase, however, in this disease-carrying type by the end of October into November.
There have been 379 dengue cases and 2 deaths so far in 2025, significantly fewer than the 1,819 recorded for the same period last year, which also had 2 deaths. And finally, parents are being urged to register their children for transport cards under the National Rural School Bus Program by November 1. Transport Minister Darrell Vaz made the call during a recent press briefing. Come November, the school bus system will transition to a cashless operation, with students paying $50 per trip.
All students who have already registered on receipt of their student transport cards are encouraged to begin using the cards. No charge will be applied in the next 2 weeks. So it's good to use them to make sure they're working and obviously understand how they work, etc., etc.
Minister Vaz is also encouraging parents and students to check their schools, the JUTC website, or social media pages for information on how to obtain their cards. Registration can be completed at the school or online at jamaica.district@mySmartTerm.com/busportal/registration.
So I'm also pleased to announce that as of Monday, October 27th, registered students and parents will be able to top up student transport cards at regular retail outlets across Jamaica, similar to those used for top-up for mobile phones. So pretty much the same outfit. I think it's over 3,000 of them that are all over Jamaica. By then, should be in a position.
Parents will receive a printed receipt at the top-up location along with text and email confirmations. They will also be able to track card balances using the app. And that's it for JS News Today. I'm Twyla Whelan. Thanks for watching.